On today's video, we're going to be comparing Naples, Florida to Sarasota, Florida to see which one of these beautiful cities is the best city to live. Now, I've lived in both of these cities or metropolitan areas. Naples is a world-class city with wealth on levels difficult to match. This city is a premier place for anyone who has enough money to afford to live in one of the best cities in the United States. But Sarasota is not far behind with world-renowned beaches, incredible shopping. Both of these cities are wealthy, beautiful, tropical, with vibrant downtowns and incredible scenery. Which one of these cities is the best for you? That's what we're going to discover on today's video. Currently, me and my wife live in the Lakewood Ranch area, which is a suburb of Sarasota, but I did spend about 20 years of my life in Naples.
Are you with this freaking nut?
Naples has one advantage over Sarasota, and that is its iconic pier, which since the late 1800s has been the symbol of this South Florida city. Unfortunately, Hurricane Ian did kind of knock it down. But they're working on restoring it, and it will be back as beautiful as ever. The closest iconic pier to Sarasota is in the city of Venice, and it just can't compare to the pier of Naples. It really is an iconic figure of Florida. On a cold winter morning, you will definitely prefer to be in the city of Naples. The air and water temperature here are noticeably warmer, so if you're snowbirding, Naples does offer a more tropical feel. Both cities and metropolitan areas are relatively safe, but the city limits of Naples is safer than the city limits of Sarasota. But Sarasota does have Siesta Key. As we know, it's rated as the best beach in the United States. But many people will say that Sarasota just has too many bad areas close to the city center. And again, these are both relatively safe cities. Siesta Key is adjacent to downtown Sarasota, and so is Lido Key, which means that you can go from the island to downtown in a very short distance. The islands in Naples are too far to the south or too far to the north to even be considered part of the city core. Downtown Sarasota is much more accessible, and it is a larger city, offering a vibe of almost a baby Miami. It's a much larger, more modern city, while Naples feels like a small town that got too big. Awkwardly enough, downtown Naples isn't the Naples skyline, and the city of Sarasota combines the downtown with the skyline to give it a more cosmopolitan feel. There's a weird thing about being in Naples where the downtown has nothing to do with the commercial hub of the city. But in Sarasota, you can go from the downtown to the beaches to the city neighborhoods to the urban centers of commerce. All of that makes sense, and it's really a much better laid out city. Going for an evening walk or bike ride to the city of Sarasota, you will definitely understand that you are gifted to live in just a beautiful place. Not only is Sarasota beautiful, but access to employment here is better than Naples, with better opportunities and closer access to the larger metropolitan area of you will undoubtedly have no problem finding employment and opportunities in Sarasota that in the city of Naples are definitely going to be more limited. So if you're still young and looking to work and play, Sarasota will be a clear winner. But don't think that it's all a commercial hub in Sarasota. There's plenty of nice things to do from shopping to dining. Both of these cities really offer world-class amenities. The ambiance in downtown Naples feels almost like a European city. It's clean, it's elegant. You don't have the droves of homeless people wandering around like you do in Sarasota. And anybody who thinks that they're gonna light up something that stinks and smells in the air here will be seriously mistaken. This is a much cleaner, safer, more elegant city with a lot less lawlessness in their downtown. This is a downtown where you go to have a nice dinner and enjoy a quiet, elegant evening.
Oh, there's some bigwig prices right here. And that vagina place open down there, bite you down there. He'll bite you. Hey, you can call 411 you put that hand in there. You're gonna have to keep up a little bit with you. I tell you what, these people down here take their poop dump tank. Where's that walk like Duck Dynasty came on through here or something, don't it? Look at that giraffe down there. Take y'all somewhere decent. Y'all folks don't usually get to eat out nowhere like this. You were supposed to count this, you know that? I counted wrong.
Yes, you counted wrong.
So there's exactly 100.
Yes.
But I counted wrong then. How did I count wrong? For a deer stand there. Yeah, oh, this is fancy right here. What type of... I'll get them rhinoceros down there. Hey, what this fancy down here? I don't even know if I want to break something in here. Might not be able... How you doing, man? I'll just tell you what, man. My party down there. Come on, man. Come on back. Get some deer stand down there. Tell you what, her taste is just a little bit low par, man. Say. Mas eu falo pouquinho? Tá bom. Tá bom.
É difícil falar português.
Tá bom. Tá bom.
Without a doubt, downtown Naples is a classier, more refined place. Those folks in Sarasota with their smoke in the air and loud music wouldn't know a thing about what a classy downtown is like the folks in Naples would. Downtown Naples is surrounded by affluent residential areas. Some homes along the beach can be upwards of $100 million. Then if you and your nose are stuck that far up yourself, then you may find Naples an adequate place to live. Imagine you're enjoying some beluga caviar. They just popped open a 2-kilogram jar just for you and your close associates. And at the table across from you is a gentleman having a conversation with the likes of the following. Hey, dawg, listen to my Cuban link Shane, dawg. Hey, you hear that? Hey, man, I just bought my grandmama Beluciaga. You hear me? Whoa, yeah, man. Hey, listen to my Shane, dawg. I'm not trying to hear me. Yeah, that's my Cuban link. You hear me? Hey, man, I bought my grandmama Versace too. You hear me? While living in the city of Naples, you will be spared running into individuals like that. However, while living in Sarasota, even at the fanciest establishments, you could find yourself dealing with a Michael Blackston type of comedian while you're trying to close a $10 million deal. So in plain words, Naples is a fancier, more elegant place where you're not establishing any type of communication or any type of interaction with individuals who don't belong in this wealthy ambiance. In fact, there's even a statue in downtown Naples that looks down on other people. Let's say you don't want to live directly in downtown Naples. There are plenty of gated communities with royal poincianas, royal Cuban palm trees. Everything is royal in Naples, and everything is gated to keep out people who don't belong in these types of environments. I would have to definitely say, if you're a multi-millionaire, the city of Naples will probably offer you an environment where you can be around other people who are as arrogant as yourself. You could probably visually appreciate as well that Naples has a much larger snowboarding population, and in the summertime it's fairly empty. Naples has more millionaires per capita, and it also has a larger snowboarding population. You would be a fool to think that these homes in Naples are these individuals' primary residences. A vast majority of these homes are simply a place to come down in the winter and meet with the family and have awkward conversations about your health because you know they're curious about when you're going to die so they can get their inheritance. The city limits of Naples is nothing but absolutely the most elite real estate you can think of. Some parts of the city limits of Sarasota are outright inner city neighborhoods. When it comes to living a regular place to live for regular people, in the category of just regular living for regular people, Sarasota is the clear winner. You got a lot of diversity in food here. You have cultures. We even have an Amish community that also happens to grow during the winter. Sarasota feels more like a hometown. With the Ringling Museum and many other centers for arts and culture, we can definitely say that when it comes to arts, Sarasota has Naples beat by a long shot. You also have easy access into Tampa, so if you like going to concerts or events, Naples simply cannot compare. Even in the summertime, you can find plenty of things to do culturally in the Sarasota area, while Naples really is more stagnant when it comes to things to do. Naples has always had a reputation of being a place of old, boring people. Sarasota has more life, more youth, more vibrant individuals who go out there, enjoy life, and are more colorful and enjoyable. And it really feels like when you're out in Sarasota, it's a definitely more lively and open-minded place, but it still has that unique coastal elegance without the arrogance. When it comes to shopping, you're going to find that the University Mall is a far stretch, far beyond any of the shopping that you're going to find in Southwest Florida. And with a community that's willing to outreach and extend opportunities to everybody, unlike Naples where they're trying to just hold it all themselves, if you're young and trying to have a future, you'll find that the Sarasota area will offer you not only much more opportunities, much more options, better pay, and more comfortable working environments. The Naples area has a lot of people that commute from Lee County, and in the Sarasota area, there really aren't these hectic commutes. There's jobs in all directions, from the suburbs to the city. You should be able to find work without having to go through these ridiculous commutes that the people in the Naples area are submitted to. Because yes, despite all the money that they have in Naples and claim to have, They don't allow anybody to get ahead. In the Sarasota area, you can live closer to work without having to being subjected to a ridiculous commute because you can't afford to live in the area you work. And I can definitely say that while living in Sarasota, I can tell the opportunities are bountiful, not only in employment but also in education. So if you're looking to advance yourself and just learn a little bit, study, be a student, whatever you're looking to do with your life, I can guarantee you that the Sarasota area will offer you more opportunities than Naples ever will. So in summary, I would definitely say that the Sarasota area has a much brighter future for the average person. If you're looking to retire affordably, Sarasota could also offer you the opportunity to enjoy a lot of the luxuries of Florida without the price tag. You have a lot of suburbs in the Sarasota area that are not as expensive. The apartment that I have now rents for about $2,200 with utilities. I think in Naples it would be at least $600 more. That's if you can even find it, because in Naples apartments want ridiculous deposits, ridiculous requirements. So if you're a younger person or somebody needing affordability, in Sarasota you can be close to all the cool expensive stuff and still live a somewhat normal life. To be honest, both of these cities are expensive, and even the poor people here enjoy what I would call luxuries of life. A lot of the beaches in Sarasota are also free parking or much more accessible. That means that in Naples, you're gonna have to pay for parking, or much of the beachside is reserved for nothing other than very opulent houses, areas that are not accessible to the public. While in Sarasota, despite the fact there's a lot of wealth, most of the beaches are common areas and parking is readily available or at least free in a lot of the beaches, especially if you head a little bit north into the Bradenton area. Free parking, finding a parking space, and just the accessibility of the beaches in the Sarasota area, to me, has been a huge improvement of Naples, where for the most part beaches are packed and finding a parking space is almost impossible. When it comes to dining, both Naples and Sarasota have a great amount of diversity and good dining options. So I'm not going to say that one city is better than the other. Both cities have great dining options. The coastline of beaches along Naples, however, offers more unobstructed natural views, and there's a lot of preserved lands and mangroves right along the coast of Naples, from Bonita Springs and down into the 10,000 Islands. If you really like to enjoy nature at the beach, undisturbed nature areas that look like they were pristinely there with minimal signs of humans, then the Naples beaches are definitely going to offer you a more natural feel. Unfortunately, the coastline along Sarasota is for the most part densely populated. The Naples zoning department has done the best effort possible to prevent Naples from turning into a Miami, and Sarasota does have more skyscrapers and densely populated areas along the coast, which means that Naples, despite being an expansive area, really does feel more low density population. And in the summertime, you can find beaches where there's almost nobody on them with natural settings. As you can see, however, Hurricane Ian did go into the palm trees with a strong storm surge and push back the trees at least a good 10 feet. And much of the Naples coast is going to need many years to recover to its previous state, since they did have a storm surge of about 9 feet cover the entire coast, and down towards downtown Naples, the storm surge came in about 3 feet. So we're talking the entire coast of Naples had storm surge, and that did a lot of ecological damage to some of the areas along the coast. But nonetheless, one of the biggest advantages that Naples has is the access to preserved lands and areas that are wooded, mangroves, just more of a natural feeling along the beaches where you're looking at tropical gardens, not just urban areas while you're on the beach. That has to be a huge advantage for a lot of people. It just doesn't feel the same when you want to relax and chill to look into natural wooded areas, not just big giant buildings. From Bonita Springs into Barefoot Beach, Wiggins Pass, Pelican Bay, Clam Pass, you're going to find that Naples has entire stretches of the coastline that are in their natural state with no large developments. So if you enjoy boating and want to do so in a natural setting, then Naples is definitely a much better option. The fishing in Naples is also much better with better tarpon, better snook, better grouper. Despite the fact that Naples does have more natural beaches, I have found that there's as many dolphins and manatees in the Sarasota area, so when it comes to wildlife viewing, I think both cities have a lot to offer. Naples is also a short ride from the Florida Everglades, so if you enjoy nature, you're going to have access to the Fakahatchee that encompass the natural area of the Everglades. Is an expansive area as far up as Bear Island, pushing all the way down to Everglades National Park. The amount of options that you're going to have if you enjoy hiking and exploring the woods in Naples is unlimited. And I do find that in Sarasota, these types of real authentic Florida settings are harder to come by. There are parks up here, there's the Mayaca region, but it doesn't really compare to the Florida Everglades. So when it comes to natural things to do, Naples is clearly the winner, especially if you like to combine your nature activities with boating activities. The red tide, which is a naturally occurring thing in Florida that has been completely out of control over the last few years, has unfortunately affected Naples as much as Sarasota. If money is absolutely no obstacle for you, clearly Naples would be the selection for you, with areas like Aquiline Shores and Port Royal, where price tags start at about 20 million, can reach as far up as 100 million, if not beyond. If you have that kind of money, Naples will definitely, you'll feel more secluded and more safe and kind of further away from the rest of the world. So if you are a more affluent person, you definitely would consider Naples as a better option. The restaurants in those price ranges, the things to do, the boating activities, everything there is kind of catered to people who pretty much have no price tag limitations, where in the Sarasota area you might feel a little bit more confined and you might have to be more selective. If you're affluent, you have money, in the Naples area, it's going to feel like an unlimited world for you. And don't get me wrong, you can find expensive areas in Sarasota as well, but there's just a difference between Port Royal, where people from billionaires live, to CEOs of companies, to Sarasota, where you have wealth, but you just don't have that seclusion. Just so you understand, this is the garbage truck in these parts of Naples. It's not a monstrosity, it's a small pickup truck, and they go to your garbage can, pick it up, and then put it back by your door for you. So clearly it's just a different level of money, and small details like your garbage collection, it just isn't the same thing in Naples as in Sarasota. It's just a realm of more money, more affluence. Despite that, nature does not discriminate, and Naples has not been spared from completely savage natural disasters. Ian, Irma, Wilma, Charlie, Naples has back to back had to deal with incredible natural disasters. And I'm not sure why Sarasota always gets spared. It's not that geographically far away, but I can tell you that the beautiful tropical paradise of Naples can in one day turn into a complete nightmare that only the wealthiest residents can just say, well, sign a check and fix it. The vast majority of us don't have that luxury, and living in Naples comes with a few complications because of the natural disasters that mean the vast majority of us simply can't afford it. When these hurricanes come around, everything gets destroyed, and your life can quite literally change overnight, and it can take months for it all to go back to normal, and then in a few years it all happens again. So if you're not ready for that type of situation, that's why I said a lot of people, these are second homes. They only come down here for a few months of the year, and if there's a hurricane or something like that, well, then they just simply go somewhere else because they have several homes. So if you're looking to be a full-time resident, Naples may really not be the place for you. A lot of people who move to Naples as full-time residents find that it can be quite the nightmare, while it's a dream for some. So if you're thinking about Naples or Sarasota, unless your bank account is in the million and up range, I wouldn't even consider Naples as your top choice. And even if you have a few $1 million ready to move, Naples may still be too affluent and stuck up for you. You may want a more genuine, down to earth experience, in which case Sarasota is still a better option for you. These are two cities that I've had the privilege of living in, and so far I would say you can't really go wrong with either one of these cities for any other reason other than your economy not being able to handle the cost and your opportunities not being as much as you would expect. Despite the fact that there's a lot of money down here, a lot of it is seasonal, it's snowbird money. So you can definitely expect, if you're moving down here, not to have the same opportunities you would expect somewhere else. For a good middle ground, I think where I live now in Lakewood Ranch is perfect. I still have natural trails, I still have the Braden River, a little bit of nature here and there, nice suburban feel, but the price tag is much more accomplishable than the price tag associated with living in Naples. So I've really enjoyed living in the Sarasota metropolitan area. Here in the Lakewood Ranch area, I have everything I need accessible, from beaches to shopping. And while it is a little more expensive than most areas, especially if you're going out to dinner, I will say that there's enough opportunity here where if you work hard enough, you can make it all happen. One of the biggest complaints that I do have about the suburban sprawl of Sarasota is that you cannot get good authentic food anywhere. Naples, despite being a rich and affluent area, has a lot of authentic food, but in Sarasota, once you're in the suburban sprawl, the food is absolutely, well, you guys know, if you want authentic food, you're usually not going to find it in affluent areas. And I think Naples, for being an affluent area, has done a great job of making sure that the people in the kitchen, well, don't live in those affluent areas, because there's just something about rich people not knowing how to cook. Don't know how to explain it, but it is frustrating to live in Sarasota suburbs because of the lack of authentic dining options. Yes, I can run into downtown Sarasota or downtown Bradenton and find better options within those urban cores, but the suburban options for food here absolutely suck, and it is definitely one of my biggest complaints, finding authentic cuisine. I'm going to have to talk to the manager.